hello there.
Hello, good morning.
We're talking about you in your absence.
I can hear.
Well, the first question really is, why aren't you standing for a seat yourself?
Well, I did it last time. I did it in 2015. All the previous times I stood, it was just to get a message out. Never any prospect of winning. But in 2015, I did stand, but at the same time tried to lead a national party. It was impossible because I spent way too much time hunkered down in a constituency and not out round the country doing national media. Very, very difficult. You know, Theresa May stood in Maidenhead at the last general election, but anybody could stand as a Conservative at Maidenhead and win. I'm not in that position. And I think what's more important is I want to travel the length and breadth of this country to say two things. Firstly, to Labour voters, you know, if you're one of the 5 million that voted Brexit and then voted for Jeremy Corbyn in 2017, you have been completely and utterly betrayed, because they now want a second referendum with a choice of Remain versus virtually Remain. And secondly, and by the way, I would be 100% behind Boris Johnson if he was going for Brexit, but he's not.
Go on, secondly, yeah.
He's picked up Mrs May's treaty. He says it's Brexit. Right. He says it gets Brexit done, and it doesn't do any of those things. And I want to spread that message around the country.
I just heard Steve Baker, who's one of the hardline Conservatives today, saying that this guy's going to cost us the election because you're going to get 10, 15% in Conservative seats, stop them winning, and then what happens?
Jeremy, come on. You remember 2015. It was all the same stuff. Oh, Farage's UKIP mean we're going to get a Miliband government. In fact, what happened on the night of the results was UKIP hurt the Labour Party far more than the Conservatives. There wouldn't have even been a David Cameron majority if it wasn't for the UKIP vote. So, comments like that, we've seen it all before. And here it is. A general election is about choice. What Boris is offering is 3 more years minimum of negotiations and a long-term relationship tied to EU rules. What I'm offering is a clean break, and we can do that with a genuine free trade agreement or WTO terms.
We did a Channel 5 show where we did some polling on the no-deal Brexit, and the polls were showing that not even 20% of people want to go out with no deal. That thing has gone.
Well, a month ago, if people were offered leave with a clean break versus extend and have a second referendum, there was a big majority for it. These things are very volatile. What Brexit voters want is they want Brexit done. It's why Boris's slogan is good, but unfortunately what he's offering them isn't the case. And I'm even told that in the Conservative manifesto to be issued on Wednesday, they will even take out leaving with a no-deal clean break if necessary. So you've actually got Boris now in a weaker position on the EU than Theresa May was.
But I still would come back to this thing that you're going to hurt the Conservatives. I know what you say. I know what you're saying. But look, if you return those votes, if you release those 2015 voters who voted UKIP, they're going to go. If they're Brexit, they're going to go to the Conservatives because they want Brexit. They're not going to go anywhere else. If you stand, you stop the Conservatives winning those seats. That's the bottom line, isn't it? It's obvious.
If the Conservative Party were standing for Brexit, we wouldn't be here. What Boris is presenting is not Brexit, and that's the point.
That's different that's different. That's a different argument. Because actually, if Boris Johnson doesn't win, you get Corbyn in charge and then a second referendum.
There are 2 points here. Firstly, you say we could split the vote. Number one, it's a different option. Number two, there are 5 million Labour voters completely betrayed by the Labour Party. I will be spending the rest of this week in Labour constituencies, in the Midlands, in the North, in South Wales. Of course we'll take Conservative votes, but we'll take even more Labour ones.
Thank you very much indeed, Nigel Farage, leading the Brexit Party. Well, there we go. So, James, you were the one who was saying that he was going to take votes off the Conservatives, but he doesn't think he is.
Well, he doesn't think he is, and maybe that's right. And look, I understand what he's saying, and at the beginning of a campaign, you want to sound as if you are, staunch. You want to put your point ahead. I dare say that down the line, as and when we see different kinds of polling, and when we see the systemic polling that we don't get to see, but the parties and the sort of policy geeks and wonks and various other people see, then we may see a deal done. Because if it's heading towards another referendum, he may or may not change his mind on the basis that he may not like that Brexit deal, but I think he'd probably like that Brexit deal more than not at all.
I'm not sure about that. I don't know. I think he might be all or nothing, actually.
Yeah. Listen, this man's been a thorn in the side of British politics. He is partly the reason that David Cameron was so frightened that he held the referendum in the first place. And how ironic that he's the leader of the Brexit Party. Brexit means Brexit. Nothing means Brexit. We've had 2 deals now. That's still not Brexit. You know why? Because the minute Brexit happens, he's irrelevant. And, the gravy train stops. He is the leader of... He's not the leader of a political party. He is a limited company. He has not ever been an MP. He's lost 8 times. That's why he's not running, because he would lose 7 times. Sorry, it would be his 8th. So actually, Boris Johnson...
won an election as an MEP, so he has been elected.
As the leader of a party, you haven't got time to do X, Y and Z. Hang on a minute.
No,
Joe
see, I'm going to agree with you.
Hang on, James, hang on.
No, I'm going to agree with Gemma there.
Jeremy Corbyn and Boris Johnson, it would be so weird if they didn't run.
Maybe we're getting too hung up on this thing of running for a seat, because he has changed politics in this country without being in the House of Commons. It may not matter very much. People in Parliament are just widely thought of as having wrecked the whole thing.
Yeah,
maybe it doesn't matter
to him, and they shouldn't have done in the first place.
Let me bring in Amanda. Amanda, what do you think?
What do I think?
I'm so sorry.
Honestly, I'm losing the will to live. As a farmer, I don't want to come out with no deal. That is massively important.
What will no deal do to you?
Massive tariffs on what we produce.
Right.
Massive tariffs. I, as a mother with a young family, I want to stay in. I wouldn't have ever said I was a staunch European, but I am now.